Welcome back to the 3 Minute Horror Show, everyone. I'm back with Brandon Reines, filmmaker from Edmonton. He's responsible for the Grotesque series, the I'm Haunted series, and also the series that we did on Friday the 13th movies. He's got another one coming up on the Nightmare on Elm Street films that we did together. And he's a part of our Halloween series. And today we're talking about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. He also has a web. I forgot to mention it. He also has a YouTube channel. It's called Brandon versus Movies. Subscribe to it. Subscribe to me while you're at it. You'll get more content like this. We're gonna have fun talking about this crazy movie. So why don't you come along for the ride with us? And put your comments in the comment section because I know you're gonna have comments about this thing. Brandon, why don't you kick us off?
I think Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, is the first one that's really bad. I know a lot of people hate number 5. I actually like it. I think 6 is first where it's like, whoa, like this series has gone way the hell off course. And I don't know why they made the decisions they did. There's a few kind of cool parts, a little bit, if you made like a highlight reel of the movie, mostly of just the kills, it's like okay,
Yeah.
it's all right. This is just the first one I remember even seeing it as a kid, and I'm like, wow, that sucked. Uh, and I thought maybe it would grow on me as I aged, and no, it hasn't. It sucks probably even more.
Yeah.
I don't like they basically just do a 180. They were kind of leading up. They called like the part 4, 5, and 6. They called like the Thorn trilogy because they kind of go together in the same story, but they really don't get into the true stupidity of it until part 6. They kind of hint at it in part 5,
Yeah.
but part 6 where it just goes way off the rails, and like I don't even get it. Like even their story with the whole druid cult that's controlling Michael Myers, it's so dumb, but I don't even understand it really.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they didn't. It just seems like they shot like 3/4 of a movie and then edited it together into something that was as best sense as they could make of it. Like it just seems like I don't know. I just don't. It seems like there's something missing, or it was rewritten too many times by different people with different ideas, and all of a sudden, it's got like the tattoo or whatever, the thorn tattoo, and it's like that was never mentioned before. And Michael Myers leaves this clue at the scenes of his crimes, which
Yeah.
never happened before.
Never happened before.
And now Loomis is talking about like, oh, Michael's getting more powerful, and it's like, dude, you've been tracking this guy for like what 20 some years, and this has never come up until now. Like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And I read one review online that said they just called this movie unpleasant, and there's so many parts in there with that like abusive asshole drunken dad,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, man, this guy is just like, it sucks just having to sit through the scenes where he's even in them. And it's like he doesn't even seem like a real guy. He just seems like a character of an abusive dad. Like, yeah, this was a bad movie.
Almost every character in this movie is a character. So you've
Yeah.
got the abusive dad Strode character, who is Laurie Strode's uncle, I suppose. When if you were to go back in the time tunnel, he's Laurie Strode's uncle, and Tim Strode is his son. So Laurie's cousin, who is basically Sonic the Hedgehog wrapped up in a meat suit. He's the '90s attitude character and talking about homies and dudes. What's up, dude? Like, check out my tube, dude. Like he's one of those type of guys.
Mm.
Well, let's take it back to the beginning because the beginning of this movie starts off friggin' wild. Okay. The version that Brandon and I watched was the producer's cut. It was the producer's version, and there is some really questionable shit in it. I say shit because it's shit. It's weird. Uh, so it starts off with a woman being wheeled through what appears to be a hospital. We learn later that this is actually Smith's Grove Mental Hospital, the basement of it, I guess, the sub basement. Who knows? But she's being wheeled through this place. She's giving birth to a baby. Now we find out later on that this is actually Jamie Lloyd, who is 15 years old in this movie. She was 8 years old the last time we saw her. She's 15 in this movie now. She looks like a 30-year-old woman. She's giving birth to a baby. She gives birth to the largest newborn that I've ever seen. That's a big, big, big boy. Okay. But famously, they don't use actual newborns in these movies or whatever, but that's a big baby. And these druids, these cultists, are doing a little ceremony, a little ritual on this baby, and they're painting the thorn symbol on the baby. Well, meanwhile, Michael Myers is just standing beside them, going like looking all doing nothing, being stone-faced Michael Myers, just kind of being there. And who we can assume is the guy with the fancy boots from the last movie is presiding over this ritual. Well, this girl gets away. She grabs the baby. She runs away. We find out that yes, it actually is Jamie, and she goes on the run. She stops at a train station for a moment and takes the opportunity to call in a local radio station rather than the police
Hmm.
to say, yeah, Michael Myers is still alive. And we're introduced to 20-something-year-old Tommy Doyle, who's played by a fresh-faced young Paul Rudd. What do you think?
Yeah, Paul Rudd in this,
Yeah.
I'm surprised his career was as successful as it was when this is how he started. I figured he would have been like blacklisted for how shitty this movie is. And it wasn't his fault. He was obviously told to act like this.
Yeah.
But why did he have to play the movie like he's some weird psycho creep? Like they could have made him just like a likable young guy. Instead,
Yeah.
he's like super serious. He's like staring at the girls out the window and he's just so intense. Like no human acts like that. That's how like bad movie characters act. Like
Not to
everything
mention the fact,
Michael's coming home.
yeah, not to mention the fact that he spends the first quarter of the movie doing a weird New England accent and then he completely forgets it.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I noticed that about Jamie Lee too. She looks like an adult woman.
Yeah.
And then I was reading just like the Wikipedia page, and it's like, oh, she's supposed to be 15, like a teenager, and
Yeah.
like, okay, it just kind of threw me off on the timeline, but whatever. But it it also, I don't know, like it takes away some of like the coolness of Michael Myers because it used to be you don't know why he's doing what he does. He's just driven to do it, and he's kind of scary. Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's just a pawn in this game being played by this cult, and
Yeah.
they're the ones that are like calling the shots. And it's like, well, so also, Michael Myers is not cool anymore. I don't know.
I don't know
That
if they
was a
were
bad
trying
decision.
to bring in the druids from the third movie, trying to tie that in somehow, but I don't think they were Thorn. I think that they
No,
were
that
just
there's
Irish.
similarities, but I don't think they were smart enough to have done that. It just seems
No.
like I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why they did like they came up with this story, but
it's goofy. And not to mention the thing that I alluded to earlier with the producer's cut version of the movie that we watched is where that baby's father is actually Michael Myers, and the cult coerced him or forced him to actually engage in sexual activity with his niece and make this baby. So this baby is like an incestuous Michael Myers baby, which is kind of gross on its own. Well, it's not just kind of gross;
yeah,
it's really gross on its own. It's and just another icky thing on top of this crap sundae.
yeah, that's yeah, it's disgusting. I got a few
Yeah.
notes here I wrote down too of just
Okay.
things.
Yeah.
There's even just some bad filmmaking parts, like the parts where Michael Myers is the first part is like chasing Jamie Lloyd, where she's
Yeah.
running away with her baby, and they'll be like inside a building, and then she's running, and all of a sudden it'll just cut to she's driving away in a truck,
Yeah.
and Michael Myers is in another truck right behind her, like ramming her. It just seems like there was more in between, and they cut it out for pacing.
Mhm.
There's things like that where it's like it's just bad filmmaking.
There are other questions that arise from this too. If Jamie Lloyd has been in the cult's captivity since she was 8 or 9 years old, and she's only 15 now, where'd she learn how to drive a car like that? Because she was
Yeah,
doing some pretty fancy driving. I'll pick up
yeah.
the.
Maybe she learned how to drive in the same place that Michael Myers learned how to drive when he was locked up at 6 years old. It's a continuity error, but I think that's forgivable. If the
Yeah,
movie was good, it's forgivable. Like in the first Halloween movie, it's like minor detail.
yeah.
But
And this,
in this movie, everyone's annoying. Like the teenage boy is annoying. They're even trying to
yeah,
be topical, like referencing Beavis and Butthead and things that were popular at that
yeah,
time, but may not be cool anymore. Um, let's see what else I got. Oh, it's like every character is annoying. Like that
yeah.
shock jock guy from the radio.
Super
It's
annoying.
he's just like every character pisses me off, and then the drunken dad. He's just
Yeah,
like it's even to the point of like parody almost, where he comes home and he's all angry and what's for dinner, and
Yeah,
it's like come on, like it's like who is it? It was like written by like a 16-year-old. It was like their first ever screenplay, and they just based it on other movies they've seen. Like how
pretty
do
much.
professionals make this?
My problem, another one of my problems with this one is that they wanted to make Kara Strode Lori so badly throughout this movie. They even dressed her the same. She was wearing the same kind of cable knit sweater at the end and the same skirt. I believe they were even the same colors that Lori was wearing in the original Halloween. They really, really wanted her to be the next Lori, I think.
Yeah, that could
Yeah,
very well be, and it's like she wasn't memorable. None of the
yeah,
characters in this movie were memorable. Like you'd say maybe Paul Rudd a bit just for being weird, but
yeah.
and even Loomis was just like he was old and sickly by this time, and it's weird. I thought he died, and I swear I remember him
I thought he
dying when I
died
originally.
too,
Yeah, but
but he
apparently,
didn't die. In fact, they even used plastic surgery to fix his scars.
yeah. And even the whole thing where it turns out a spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
it turns out the man in black is actually his old friend who worked at the Smiths Grove mental hospital. And it's like,
yeah.
what? Come on. Like, that is just so dumb.
Yeah, and you're going to also tell me that Loomis spent 40 years in the basement of this place and never realized that there was a actively doing cult shit down there? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
whole sub basement there.
Yeah. It's, I can't really put that into words like how dumb it is. Like,
Yeah,
everything about it is just like, you could, if you just look at this movie, turn the
yeah,
sound off and like just watch stuff happen, maybe there's some interest in it. But the story is just so stupid. And they have that thing where like the little boy
yeah,
keeps seeing the man in black, like he has
yeah,
some sort of connection to it, and he's almost like in a trance. But that doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of
yeah.
stops.
He keeps hearing him talk to him. He keeps hearing him tell him to kill people, and he doesn't do it, but it's
Yeah.
just
And then they
weird.
don't even wrap that story up. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
forget about that.
And how does he have any connection to these guys? He's not a Myers. He's a Strode, and Lori was adopted into that family. So
yeah.
it's weird. Another weird thing, the baby is I guess we're spoilering everything, right? The baby was hidden by Jamie in the basement, not in the basement, but in the women's room of the major train station or bus station in Haddonfield. Okay. Paul Rudd traces back the phone call to this bus station, goes finds a blood trail, follows it down into the ladies' room, and then just happens to hear a baby crying in the cleaning cupboard. Nobody has used the washroom in this place all day and doesn't hear a crying baby under there. And then
Not
he picks up a baby and walks out. Nobody questions him.
not to mention he sits down in the train station, notices a pool of blood
Yeah,
on the ground, follows a trail of blood to the women's bathroom where there's
yeah,
blood in the sink. Like, does no one here have a mop? Isn't there like a
yeah.
janitor that would notice someone hemorrhaging blood all over the floor?
I mean, Union Station in Toronto smells like pee a lot, but I mean, somebody's got to be cleaning this place, right?
Yeah. And you don't see blood all over the ground.
Well, yeah, not usually anyway.
Well, if there is, it's cleaned up fairly quickly.
Yeah. Another weird thing with this movie is that, as you mentioned, Michael all of a sudden is leaving a symbol everywhere. So in this one where he killed, it's believed that he's killed Jamie. I think in the theatrical version of the movie, Jamie's actually killed in this at the beginning uh, after the car crash and he stabs her up. Uh, he also burns that thorn symbol into some hay nearby, which is wild because that's never happened in any of the other movies at all, as you mentioned. And in our version of it, somebody actually goes into Jamie's hospital room afterwards and shoots her in the head. And I believe it's Wynn who does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dr. Wynn. Um, as you mentioned, the father is a piece of shit, absolutely. The mother seems nice. And there are parts in this movie, I wrote in my review, that it really pissed me off that there were hints that this could be a good movie in some spots. And when I bring up the mother, I'm talking about um, when Michael Myers is kind of stalking her through the old Myers house. It really kind of brought up that feeling of an old Halloween movie. It really felt you felt the tension as he was kind
Mhm.
of stalking her through the house before he finally got her. And then immediately something stupid happens again afterwards and pisses me off all over again. It it just it's so annoying when you're watching a movie that has that glimmer of something good and then it just shits all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you took this and you cut together like the 8 best minutes out of it, it'd
Hmm.
be kind of cool. It's like, yeah, there were parts with Michael Myers stalking someone. It's like, oh, this is good, and then yeah, and then it would just completely ruin it. And then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot it sucks,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, maybe it's getting good now. Maybe it'll stay good all the way to the end. And no, it'll stay good for like a minute and 15 seconds, and then get bad again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that glimmer of hope there, and then by the end, when you reveal that it's Michael's doctor friend is the man in black, and then they're dressed in robes, and it's just so stupid. And then Loomis gets the mark, just
Yeah.
magically appears on his wrist, and he's like, no, and then
Now you're
Michael
Michael's
Myers just like
caretaker. Take
escapes.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and basically it ends with Michael Myers like winning. He just like escapes into the unknown, and
Yeah.
it's okay, okay.
Even
So
after Paul Rudd manages to stop him with the power of runes. Runes!
yeah, it's yeah. Paul Rudd makes a cut on his hand,
Yeah,
and then like wipes it on the floor, and Michael Myers can't walk past it. Like, since when is that a thing? That has never been a
yeah.
thing in this universe. That Michael Myers has killed all sorts of people with blood everywhere. It's never stopped him before. It's just dumb.
It looked like he pulled out a bag of Dungeons and Dragons dice and just threw them on the ground. Say, take that. I rolled a 20. You're done, son. All right. So what do you give Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, thankfully the last entry in the Thorn trilogy,
I'd have to
out of
go. I give it 3.5.
3.5? All right. I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Typically, we give our reasoning after we give our ratings, but I don't even think we need to. This movie
Yeah.
sucked. If you're watching this video, you probably know it sucked. If you're an apologist for this movie, please tell us why in the comments. We would love to know.
I've
It's
never really
weird.
heard any, like all the other ones, even the other shitty ones. I've heard some. Well, there's another one that I've never heard anything good about, but
Yeah,
this one I've
I think
never
I know.
heard
Yeah.
people argue that this one's good. There's people that like Halloween Ends. That's a very polarizing one, but this
Yeah.
one it's like all hatred for a good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, that's the end of our conversation related to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Please join us again for our next episode where we'll be talking about H2O, Halloween 20 years later, where we say, forget all this other crap. We're picking up where the 1978 one left off. See, and remember to subscribe to Brandon's channel, Brandon versus Movies. Subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more stuff like this. See you next time.